Pregame.com.
The Rays are at Camden Yards on Sunday for a battle with the surprising Baltimore Orioles. We're right here at pregame.tv where we're going to break this game down for you for Sunday. Shields and Mattis are on the mound doing the battle. And I'll tell you what, this Orioles organization, VR, really high on Mattis, and they've been ever since he first came up. But he had a couple of back-to-back starts there where he looked pretty good against Toronto and the Yankees. But last time out, we saw the old Brian Mattis. And the guy is now basically given up 20 earned runs and 45 base runners in 24 and two-thirds innings in 4 of his 6 starts. In those 4 starts, he's been absolutely shelled. And now he's facing a team that averages about 5 runs per game against Southpaws.
Yeah, well, you look at both of these teams. They're the surprise of the American League East. Tampa Bay has been competitive the last couple of years, don't get me wrong. But when you think AL East, you think Boston, Yankees, everybody else.
Sure.
Right now, it's Tampa on top, Baltimore a half a game behind. But a thing I always bring up when you're talking baseball is that Pythagorean over-under in wins. That tells you what the team should be doing based on runs scored and runs allowed. Both these teams overperforming. We know in baseball the best teams win about 58 to 60% of their games. These two teams are winning up over 65% of their games. That's not going to continue for either of these teams. So far, it's been offense. You got the 7th, the 8th, and 9th best run-producing teams in baseball. That's not good for Matus, who's given up 12 hits per 9 innings. But Shields as well. He's 12th on Tampa Bay's pitching rotation as far as value over replacement player. So you don't have a stud going against Baltimore either.
Right.
That's why I like this game over. I think we're going to see some runs on Sunday.
Well, you mentioned Mattis. He's got a 3-1 mark the last 3 years when he pitches at the Juice Box, also known as Tropicana Field. But when he faces them at Camden, he gets absolutely blasted, about an 8.28 ERA and a whip approaching $1.85. So he's really struggled against this team at Camden Yards. He better find his rhythm soon. There's a lot of talk behind the lines right now where they're saying that Mattis is going to be sent down to AAA if he doesn't become more consistent. They really thought that the way he pitched against the Yankees and the Jays, maybe he wouldn't be at that level every start, but they expected more than once or twice out of every 5 or 6 starts, and he's going to have to find his rhythm again sooner rather than later. James Shields, as you mentioned, he's given up a lot of free passes in his last 2 starts, 7 walks in his last 12 innings pitched to be exact.
Yeah, and more importantly, both these guys give up the long ball. You got Shields giving up 1.3 home runs per 9 innings, Matus 1.2 home runs per 9 innings. That, to me, at Camden Yards, spells trouble when you got 2 of the best lineups in all of baseball. And when you look at defense, something a lot of handicappers and sports bettors overlook, defensively, Baltimore's one of the worst teams when you look at their errors. They're 30th in Major League Baseball in errors committed. 22nd for Tampa Bay, well below average. Errors turned into base runners. And when you got pitchers that give up the long ball and you got base runners on, that to me turns into runs.
Sure.
That's why, once again, I really like this game over. And I'll lean to the home team, Baltimore, if you could get a good dog price. Because of the fact Tampa's a team you want to back at home. They're 20-11, but they have a losing record at home. That tells me they have a very strong home field advantage, and you want to maybe increase, that price when they're playing at home. Maybe even add more than the normal 15 cents most pros add for home field. Maybe they're closer to the 20-cent range. But on the road, I give the edge to Baltimore.
And it's funny that, Baltimore talking about their bullpen being top ranked right now in Major League Baseball as far as the ERA is concerned. But when you dig a little deeper, they've actually got 4 blown saves and 15 opportunities for a save, where Tampa Bay, which is, nowhere near Baltimore as far as their pen is concerned, in fact, they're in the bottom third in the league, they've only blown 1 save opportunity. So, a great start for Mattis would be 6 innings, and then you're going to hit that bullpen. Again, the ERA looks good, but late in games, they tend to blow saves at least once out of every 3 times. You've got a chance to get some more runs. So if I'm reading you right, if I'm reading between the lines, I think you like the over a little bit more than the side.
Yeah.
And what's your cutoff as far as
I really like the over a lot in this game. I'd love to get 9, and I'd be willing to lay up to 125, even 130, because we know 9 is the key number when you're betting baseball totals. 9, 7, are the most important numbers, followed by 11. With that said, if I have to get 9.5, I want plus money, at least plus 105 if I'm going to take the 9.5. So look to go over 9. If you're going to have to go over that, 9.5, definitely get plus money.
And there you heard it from the man who's up over 20 units in Major League Baseball as we talk about this game on Thursday, May 10th. He's on the over 9 between Tampa Bay and Baltimore. Again, Shields and Mattis, your scheduled starters. He's Vegas Runner. I'm Scott Spreitzer. Stick around all week long. Coming up this week, right here at pregame.tv.